book with my students at school, and the theme that runs through it is, there is no rose without thorns. It is true, you can't know and appreciate beauty without some suffering, some pain. My dad understood this. You take the good with the bad. Sometimes everything you need is everything you already have. He modeled this and instilled this in all of us, and I am grateful for this lesson. Over the last few months, I really began paying attention to my dad. I knew this was coming, and every day was truly a gift. As I watched him sitting in his recliner, attending gatherings, sporting events, I noticed despite the lack of outward affect, he was satisfied, truly happy. Out of it came a phrase I coined, there is magic in the mundane. He didn't need fancy cars or trips, a big house with a pool. He never needed expensive dinners out or extravagant gifts. He never needed a spotlight, but he knew others sometimes did. So he became that spotlight and shined his light on others. That gave him his purpose, meaning, happiness. And shine we all did under his light, and I am grateful for this light. He was the man behind the camera, genius. I'm a lot like my dad. It is tough being an introvert in an extroverted world, but I learned to embrace it. And I'd like to believe he did too. Social gatherings can be tough on introverts. They drain us of all our energy. So we may appear not to be having a good time or in a bad mood, but for many like us, this is the way to survive a gathering. So to put a buffer in between you and the party was genius. By carrying that camera, he was able to navigate the guests on his terms. He was in control of the interactions. In turn, out of necessity, he documented our memories. He not only captured the celebratory moments in life, but all the mundane moments as well. They were equally as important to him. In fact, I bet he put more emphasis on the mundane moments. It's harder to see the magic in those moments, but he did. And I am grateful for the documented moments. I recall Matthew's first Christmas. We went to Christmas Eve at the Russells. We left with an SUV full of gifts, as we always do. And when we got home, I rewrapped the gifts so I could create the Christmas morning photo op. A living room full of gifts surrounding a peanut-sized 6-month-old. After we did the photo and opened or reopened the gifts, my father came upstairs. They were living on the first floor apartment at the time. He scooped up Matthew and put him in his lap. He pulled out this small wrapped package and handed it to Matthew. They opened it together, and in it was a cassette tape of Mozart. My dad had read somewhere that playing classical music was good for the brain and to make babies smarter. I looked at the two of them, and then around the room and all the hoopla I needed to create to make a memorable Christmas, and there it was, magic in the mundane. This small interaction between grandpa and grandson was all that was needed. I began to catch these moments more and more over the years. One day I came home from work, Dad was out back on the glider reading, and Matt was curled up sleeping on the seat beside him, rocking back and forth, Dad's hand rubbing Matt's back. Jill used to love when Grandpa got to take her to dancing school. After dance class, they would go to breakfast together at Sunshine Cafe. Magic in the mundane. And I am grateful for taking the time to notice these moments. Everything I am because of him is a gift. I didn't always appreciate this. I used to curse the legs he gave me. Why couldn't I have gotten the Fitzmaurice legs, thin and feminine? I used to call them upside down tree trunks. On a dude they work, but on a 5'3" woman, not so much. But you should see what I can do at the gym. I am strong, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally, just like Dad. These legs are my foundation. They were the first things that I stood on this morning, as I do every morning. They carried me here today and give me the strength to live through the thorns, and I am grateful for their strength, and I depend on them. Dad liked to travel and see concerts, sure, but he was just as happy watching a YouTube video of the same concert or someone else's travel across the globe from the comfort of his recliner. He learned to enjoy what life had to offer through a different lens. He had to. Life can be exhausting, and I am thankful for that wisdom. I know it meant a lot to the kids that Grandpa was always out there. Not the loudest cheerer, but definitely their biggest supporter. He went to everything: parades, recitals, soccer, football, baseball, volleyball, track meets, floor hockey, basketball, graduations, Christmas concerts, spring concerts, recorder concerts, pageants, banquets, fundraisers, ceremonies, plays. He was always there. I am grateful for this. We all are. Yesterday is hard. It's hard to say goodbye to Dad, Grandpa, Phil, but I am grateful for the 51 years I had with him. I am grateful that my children will remember him. I am grateful for him teaching me that there is magic in the mundane, and I am grateful that when the sun shines tomorrow, I will feel his light once again. I love you, Dad, and I am grateful that you were ours for the time we had. rest in peace. And I just have his words to share. If you can hear it. This was after a track meet I didn't get to, my father did, from Jill's first track meet.